What is going on, y'all? Today is back in biceps, maybe some shoulders if I want to do those, maybe not, we'll figure it out. But pre-workout meal for today was a pack of Ben's Original 4-cheese rice, 4 ounces of beef, and 2 bananas. Now, you may be asking yourself, okay, cool. Yeah, fine, fair. But the main reason why I'm telling you guys this isn't because, I'm not really not going to go into depth about what this stuff is. It's mainly because I want to go into depth about what each thing does. And what that does is this. So, I've explained this before, but I want to explain it in a more clear kind of fashion way, because in the past I've been doing it on the treadmill and I might have sped things up a little bit. But the whole point of a pre-workout meal is, for one, obviously, pre-workout meal. You may be asking yourself, because I've seen it on TikTok comments, some people have asked me personally, what are good carbs, or what's good to eat before the gym? I always say anything fast digesting, right? And that can consist of fruits, rice, things like that. The things that you don't want to eat that are slow digestion and that aren't always clear but are very obvious are the things with high levels of fat. So something like a cheeseburger, right? It has buns, which are fast digesting carbs, but it has a burger, which has a good amount of fat in it. Now, that's not to say that you can't have any fat, but it's you need less than I go off of less than 15 grams of fat before your lifts, because the more fat you have, the more slow digesting stuff that you have. And it's not that you can't have slow digesting carbs before your workout, but you're gonna have to wait even longer to work out, right? If you have slow digesting carbs, let's say you had 25 grams of fat, 40 grams of protein, and 100 grams of carbs. Well, that 40 grams of what did I say? That 30? Yeah, 30 grams of fat. Jeez. You're going to have to wait an hour and a half before you lift, right? And, that's fine. But as a dude who gets hungry all the time, I want to eat and get to my workout as soon as I can so I can come back and eat as soon as I can, right? Unless I have something going on, whatever not. But, more than likely, I like to get something even small to just, munch on real quick, because I'm hungry damn near every 45 minutes. Unless I eat something huge, and it's I'll take an hour and a half, 2 hours to eat, right? But, when it comes to just getting fast digesting carbs, it'll make sure you're able to work out faster, wait 30, 45 minutes and you're good. It'll make sure that you get a good pump, right? Because that's what, a pump, energy, and all that has to coexist with how you're digesting your food. Because when you're eating slow digesting carbs, you hear bodybuilders and even just doctors or regular people say food is fuel. And for the longest time, I didn't really understand what that I understood what it meant, but I never really got the benefits of that, right? And it's because a lot of my food I was eating was slow digesting stuff. So you can have your fats after the workout, but before your workout, make sure you're going below 15 grams of fat. And make sure you have something to track your calories and proteins and all that. I have some guy at my work who only tracks protein and I think calories. But, you need to know your carbs and your fat intake, because carbs are, everything's important, right? Your sleep, recover, your diet, all that. But talking about just diet, obviously you need sleep like you would need, the dieting. You would need sleep like you would need the training. Same thing with you need the fats like you need the proteins, like you need the carbs. But if you're, wanting to know, what the most important thing is, in my opinion, it would have to be carb intake. Because of the pre-workout meal, because of just restoring glycogen, storages. And then just, overall healthy and cognitive functioning. Right? The more carb intake you have, the better. That's not to say you want to have 800, 900, 1,000 grams of carbs. But if you're low on carbs, right, like a guy who's in bodybuilding, that's why you see guys in bodybuilding preps who can't think, or they just have low energy. It's because, well, for one, yeah, they're super lean. They don't have much fat on their diet too. But also, their carb intake is so low until their show day and they're all pumped up and everything with carbs and everything. But, you know, that's why, like, when I'm going to do my bodybuilding prep, I'm so, like, oh, man, I'm not ready for that, you know, because the no carb intake, for one, I hate my physique without carbs. I don't know about you guys, but it makes me look so flat. I hate it. I look skinnier. Hate it. But when I have carbs in my system, I look so super full, super, you know, all the good stuff about lifting. But, you know, but I'm just super excited to see what I look like when I'm on the stage and I'm all carved up and everything. I still gotta plan a show, right? I was gonna do a show, but then, you know, plans changed, and then plans changed again, so I'm probably gonna do one next year for sure. If not, you know, late this year. But I still gotta figure it out. But, you know, that's gonna be exciting. But, you know, if you haven't been to lifting in at least like 3 years, I'd say, don't worry about, you know, doing a competition of any kind. Worry about building strength, your conditioning, or just getting more muscle on your frame, dog. Seriously, right? I mean, sure, you could do that stuff, right? But I doubt you'll win if you haven't been lifting for more than like a year and a half, right? 2 years. You know, just from, I mean, sure, you can have great proportions, right? And when I was 17, I was lifting for like, let's say a year and a half, I think. Maybe a year, something like that. I looked fantastic. If you go on my Instagram, you go back down to one of my original posts, it's my caption of 17 years of age. I looked crazy. I had the Greek god build, you know, the slim waist, all that. But compared to now, I would beat my ass at 17 years old. My current age would beat 17-year-olds meat ass. Even though I was more aesthetically pleasing, like the overall mass and size I have achieved in these 3 years since then, you know, no way, right? So it might have been like 2.5 years, but I'm not going to go into like super crazy details. But, you know, you need size, right? Because overall, yes, a lot on the bodybuilding stage, if you guys are curious, a lot of the judges are looking for, and I don't know, I don't have first-hand experience, but I've heard a lot of bodybuilders and other judges, they're looking for proportions, the flow of your physique, and the overall size, and obviously the leanness, right? A guy who is maybe 1% less lean than the guy who has, you know, less muscle mass, but he's just a tiny bit leaner, like 1%, the guy with one extra body fat percentage and more muscle mass is gonna win, right? Unless the guy who has a little less muscle has better proportions overall, then, you know, that's not to say don't go up to like 300 pounds and get fat and, you know, destroy your body fat percentage and all your hormones. Because this is what I say about guys who bulk a lot. And I'm an advocate of bulking, right? I think you should bulk. I think you should bulk and maintain for a while. Don't bulk for too much though, because anything more than like a 25, 30 pound bulk, you're kind of pushing it. Oh, stop. Okay, I didn't even need to stop there. There's snow on the ground everywhere, and that was a slope to a stop, which that sucks. I don't know why that's even a thing. But the guys who bulk often too, or regularly, don't even need a bulk, right? They just need to maintain what they have, because they think, oh yeah, I'm down to 12%, 13, 14% body fat. I've never been that. Let me bulk. I feel small. No, bro, you just need to maintain that, dog. Like, because I know a couple guys, they're like at 25% body fat and they're still bulking, and it's like, dog, you don't need to be bulking anymore. I mean, do what you want, man. I'm not going to judge you. You know what I'm saying? But you're just hurting your physique more than anything, you know? But everybody's goals are different. Like, there's this one guy I know on Instagram who is super, fat, but he shoulder presses a shit ton, and I don't think he cares about his physique at all anymore. But I mean, and he's in the pursuit of strength, so I mean he can like tricep extension like 315 pounds or something, but at what cost? Because I would love to be strong. Like, if I could bench 405 pounds but still look like a crazy physique on the beach, that'd be awesome, right? I don't want to bench 405 pounds and then not be able to like get in the swimming pool and not take off my shirt, So mix a balance of all. Gotta be strong, gotta have mass though, but also stay relatively lean, right? That's not saying don't be 9%, 8%, single digit body fat all year round. But don't go up to like 20% body fat, man. You're really gonna hurt yourself. But that's enough yapping for me. 11 minute yap. Let's get into the lift finally. All right, so as you see, I like to retract my shoulder blades first just to get put in position. And then I like to spread out my shoulder blades when I'm getting the stretch portion. And then I like to retract my shoulder blades once again, having my elbows flared and up high, because the lower you have your elbows and closer you have to your sides, the more lats you are going to hit. And we are trying to hit the mid, upper back when we do this. But like I said, when you can't do those full reps anymore, turn them into partials and keep on banging them out. And the reason why this clip is muted, if you're wondering, is because there was a vacuum running in the background the whole time. We just did 2 sets of that, and now we're doing 2 sets of lat pull down. We're really going to be training heavy this set and then going lighter on the next set, just to get a couple more reps. But really just emphasizes going down, driving your elbows down to the floor and to your hips. And like I said, just get a good squeeze and get controlled all the way up and all the way down, so you get a good stretch at the bottom, or at the top, Whoops. Now we're going to be training hard and heavy once again. Go into failure for just 1 set this time, hitting the lower lats mainly, really exploding on the way down, really driving our elbows down, and then really getting a deep squeeze at the bottom, getting a deep stretch at the top, and just, banging them out. Nothing really else to it. And now we're going to be hitting the brachialis and hold over to the bicep, because we're not doing cross body curls right now, just because we're doing them seated. I'd probably recommend doing them on, just standing personally, but seated isn't bad. You use less momentum when you do it seated anyways, but make sure you're training controlled and hard when you do this. Just going straight up if you're trying to hit the brachialis. Now we did 2 sets of that and then 2 sets of this. Mainly just trying to see what I can get for weight-wise. I did a drop set here because I only did a couple reps of that weight. Just really kind of seeing what I could do with okay form. But make sure you're not moving your elbow too much up and down. But really just emphasize that squeeze and getting a deep stretch to the bottom, y'all. All right, y'all. We are done with that. I'm going to get back home. I was going to do DoorDash, but they're not busy right now. So, yeah, I'm just going to overall be done with this. And then, yeah, nothing else really planned for today other than work and then, eat my food and stuff. So, got a full day ahead of us. But yeah, like I said, when I get back home, do 25-30 minutes of cardio. Watch 2 episodes of my anime I've been watching. I don't know if you guys heard. It's kind of like it's not as popular. It got more popular that's when I started watching it again. Was when I saw it on TikTok, and it's Monster. And it's a pretty good anime. I'm on episode like 15. I was watching it and then I stopped watching it because for a while, I've said this before, I had a time duration after I watched Breaking Bad. Couldn't get into shows no matter how good they were. I stopped watching Attack on Titan when, I don't want to say when the part I stopped watching, but a certain character dies on an airplane. So I stopped watching that. And then I got back into, I just finished it not that long ago, like a month or two ago. No, probably a month. But got done finishing that. But yeah, after Breaking Bad, because I grinded that so badly, like it was nonstop, 7, 8, 9 episodes a day. And then, because I watched it during school too, so I watched a lot more episodes because it's like an hour each episode. So I was able to watch like 3 episodes in school because I had a few classes I didn't do anything in really, and then just watched it outside of school. But yeah, that's like one of the best parts about doing like your cardio on like a bike or something, or like a treadmill, or like the Stairmaster, is, you know, you could just watch your TV shows. And the best part about having one at home is you have absolute like solitude, and you could just watch your shows out loud. It's awesome. Like, I don't care what anybody says. If you can, because my girl, she got one for cheap. She got this cardio bike for like $80 on Facebook Marketplace. So if you want a cheap, you know, ish cardio bike or something, go on Marketplace. But if you just, you know, want to do cardio, do it at your house, dude. It's so much better. I recommend it, dude. Because I hate when I'm doing cardio and I'm just watching my show and somebody I know, and I'm like damn near dying. I'm like not really getting a sentence out. Like, it's like, hey man, hi, how you doing? And it's like they're talking to me and I'm like, bro, I can't even think right now, and you're coming up to me with all this life stuff. Like, give me a minute. But, you know, no. But yeah, cardio at your house is so much better. You just get that solitude. And then if you want to, you can get in your own shower right afterwards. It's great. It's a great balance. But yeah, overall, that's it for today, y'all. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see y'all later. Bye.